Hey guys, it's Ryan here with DP Marketing.Services. Move this chair out of the way. Hope you're doing well. Coming at you with a new video. And also, if you're new to my channel, hey, I'm also the author of the book on digital marketing for plumbing and HVAC contractors. If you've never actually got this book or read this book, you should. It's like $18-19 on Amazon. You get this whole thing. It literally walks through our guide of everything that we do. I don't know if I can flip backwards. There's a lot here. The other thing is it's also practical. So I put a lot of time in making sure that there's like checklists at the end of every chapter, so you can go through and do exactly what you need to do on your website to make sure your H1s, your H2s, your metadata, your descriptions, your keyword density, all that stuff, which doesn't make any sense to you now, it will when you read the book. You can take this book, drop it into your business, start making more money. It's awesome. I'm hearing from contractors all over the country, either at trade shows that we're speaking at or they've bought it and they've reached out to us, of how much insight and help that this is done. It's an easy read. It's not nerdy. I try to make something nerdy, not. So yeah, read it. Your business will thank you for it. Also, if you don't have the book yet, you can get a free sample on our website. Just go dpmarketing.services and it's there. So enough about the book. Today, let's talk about, okay. Had a call last night with a contractor, plumbing contractor. But if you're watching this channel, you know we only work with plumbing and HVAC contractors. And let's just get something out in the open because it's a part of your business. You probably know it, but let's stop being surprised by it. And that is, your business is seasonal. Now what I mean by that, in a perfect world, you would have steady, consistent business, 12 months a year, no peaks, no valleys, just even keel. But let's be honest, if you're an HVAC contractor, the summer is going to get bombarded with air conditioner calls. And if you're in the winter, if you're in a cold climate, then in the winter you're going to get a lot of boiler, heater, furnace, something like that. If you're in the mountains, it's going to be like swamp coolers is going to be something that is seasonal. They're only doing that during peak seasons, and the rest of the year it's not. So if the weather is 70 degrees and beautiful outside, if you're an HVAC contractor, you might not get a whole lot of service calls. Plumbing is similar, right? So if you're in a cold climate, you might find that it gets really, really busy when it gets cold. Pipes are bursting, leaks are happening, or when it rains. Like, so when the rainy season comes through in the spring, you might get a lot of sump pump calls. That's part of the business. It's not a surprise. Let's stop being surprised by it, because here's tends to be what happens. And this is what happened with the call we had last night from a plumbing contractor. When times are great, when you're in those big busy seasons, so let's imagine that it's summer, air conditioner calls are coming in, you guys can't keep up. What happens is a lot of business owners, it doesn't matter how long you've been in business or how many shops you have, it's tempting to go, wow, this is the new normal. We're getting 30 calls a day or 50 calls a day or whatever it is. This is nice. And you start getting used to it. And what happens, in my experience, I'm curious to know yours, is these business owners start seeing cash come in the door as revenue. And they start going, well, cool, we got money in the bank. Let's take it. Let's buy this. Let's do this thing. And they start burning through cash at a higher rate during the fat months. Sometimes you need to, but most of the time, I would say they're not realizing that peak does become a valley at some point. And it's not necessarily because marketing isn't working. It's not necessarily because of anything else. It's just because your business is seasonal. That's the way your business works. So what we're a fan of to help advocate for this and help like flatten it out is using flat rate pricing. Now, flat rate pricing at its core is the idea that you're using a book, you take your financials over a calendar year, you annualize them, and that's how you determine your cost. But you have to have the discipline and self-awareness to know that when the cash is coming in the busy season, that money isn't there for you to spend. That's money for you to live on during the lean season. And if you're smart, you can stack that up so that every year your slow season gets less and less slow, your busy season still keeps growing. You're always going to have that seasonality, but because you've learned how to manage the cash flow, it's much easier for you to build and sustain You're not surprised by it. You're not having to lay guys off. You're not scrambling to hire and fire. If your financials are under control and you have a book pricing that helps manage your annual volume, you'll be fine. Just don't spend outside those margins. So, I mean, let's be honest. It's time to stop being surprised by the seasonal nature of a plumbing or HVAC business. We actually have a guide. If you don't do book pricing or you don't have a flat rate, we actually have a guide on our website. I'll link it below, that talks about how to actually set your own prices based on your actual company's financials. On top of that, we also have the reason this is such a big deal is this is one of the top 5 reasons the contractor shops fail. We actually have a blog on that. I'll link it below too. There are certain things that, statistically speaking, are more likely to happen with a plumbing and HVAC contractor that cause failure. And we've done the research, we've done all the aggregation, and said, okay, these are the top 5 things. If you improve these 5 things, then your business has a chance of thriving and you'll thrive. But if you do any of those 5 things, chances are you're going to join all the other stats and fail. So I'll link to both of those. It's worth the read. So guys, be consistent, be persistent, be smart. When you see revenue coming in during busy seasons, great, but don't go crazy. Have self-discipline, have awareness, understand how your cash flow is going to happen for the rest of the year, so that when the slow season comes, you got money on hand, you got money in the bank, you can pay your guys, you don't have to lay them off, and you're not scrambling. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm curious to know what you think. This is a topic that sometimes when we talk to contractors, their eyes kind of gloss over, like, I don't know what you mean. So I'm curious to know about you and your business. Do you agree? Do you disagree? How do you manage your cash during the busy season versus the slow season? What do you think are your keys to success? Especially if you're a large shop who's figured out how to have that sustainable cash flow and having more fat in the busy months and more lean in the slow months and still having nice steady cash flow throughout a year. Curious to know what tips you would share to people. So leave a comment below. As always, like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. We try to keep these coming. Let us know what type of topics sound good to you and we'll try to cover them. Thanks guys for your time. We'll talk soon.